Are you struggling on your journey to English fluency? Learning collocations can help. Mastering these word combinations not only reduces errors, but also accelerates the transition from intermediate to advanced language proficiency. In this video, you'll learn intermediate level collocations with the verb make. So grab your vocabulary notebooks and let's get started. When we make an apology, we are expressing regret or saying sorry for a mistake or wrongdoing. Not all apologies are the same. You can make a sincere apology, one that comes from the heart. If the situation calls for it, you might want to make a more formal apology, especially in professional settings. And hey, if it's a big deal, you might find yourself making a public apology for everyone to hear. For example, realizing his error, John decided to make a sincere apology to his colleague for the misunderstanding. Here, John acknowledges his mistake and chooses to apologize genuinely, showing that he truly regrets the misunderstanding with his colleague. Our next sentence says, Sarah knew she had to make an apology after causing a disruption during the meeting. In this example, Sarah recognizes her role in the disruption and understands the importance of making an apology to set things right. Here's the collocation to make arrangements. When we make arrangements, we are essentially organizing or planning the details of an event, an activity, or a situation. Making arrangements can take different forms. You might find yourself making special arrangements for a unique event or ensuring that necessary arrangements are in place. Like in this sentence, the wedding planner worked tirelessly to make all the necessary arrangements for the couple's wedding. In this scenario, the wedding planner is planning and organizing every detail to ensure the couple's special day is perfect. This sentence says, before leaving for the trip, we need to make arrangements for someone to look after our pets. The last of our make collocations with nouns that start with the letter A is to make an attempt. This collocation means to try to make an effort to do something, often with an uncertain outcome. We often hear people talk about making a brave, bold, or determined attempt, or a desperate, frantic, or last-ditch attempt. A frantic attempt is one that is made in a hurried or disorganized way, and a last-ditch attempt is one that is a final attempt after all others have failed. Two example sentences using this collocation are, he made an attempt to pass his driving test without any preparation and failed. And the children made a frantic attempt to clean the house before their parents got home, but it was too little too late. We use the idiom too little too late to describe an effort that is not enough and not soon enough to make any difference. The kids' frantic attempt to clean the house was too little too late, meaning the house was still a mess when their folks got home. Next up, to make changes means to modify or alter something or to introduce differences or adjustments. Now, not all changes are equal. You might find yourself making dramatic or drastic changes. These are big changes. On the other end of the spectrum, you may find yourself making small or subtle changes. For example, after receiving feedback, the author decided to make drastic changes to the manuscript before seeking a publisher. Here, the author recognizes the need for big changes to the manuscript based on feedback and aims to improve the quality before presenting it to a publisher. A manuscript is an author's original work or an early version of a text before it is published. And our next sentence using this collocation says, as technology evolves, companies must continuously make changes to stay competitive in the market. To make a complaint is to express dissatisfaction or discontent about a product, a service, or a situation. It's a way of letting others know when something falls short of your expectations, that you are unhappy about the service you receive or a product that you purchase. Making complaints can vary in tone and formality. It might be a serious complaint indicating a significant concern. Alternatively, you could make a formal complaint, which is usually done in writing and submitted to the appropriate person or department in a company. For example, dissatisfied with the quality of the product, she decided to make a formal complaint to customer service. In this sentence, the dissatisfaction with the product prompts the individual to formally express her concerns to the customer service department. And here in this sentence, we have the restaurant offered a full refund to the customer after she made a serious complaint about her server. With this sentence, the customer's complaint regarding the service she received from the server leads to a resolution. The restaurant offers a full refund. It must have been pretty serious. Maybe the server was doing something gross like smoking while delivering food. Who knows? Next up, when we make a decision, we are reaching a conclusion or choosing a course of action after careful consideration. It's the process of considering options, thinking about pros and cons, and ultimately settling on a choice. It might be an important or a major decision, indicating a choice with substantial or big consequences. A crucial decision implies a choice with critical implications. On the other hand, a hasty or rash decision may lack the careful consideration needed, such as in these sentences. After weighing the pros and cons, the committee had to make a decision on the proposed project. And individuals are sometimes hesitant to make a major decision when faced with uncertain outcomes. Here, the hesitation to pause to make a decision happens from the uncertainty of potential outcomes. You don't really know for sure what will happen as a result, so you take a while to make a decision. When we make a difference, we are contributing to a positive impact or effect and bringing about change. It might be a great, considerable, or even a huge difference, depending on the scale of the impact an action can have. Such as in this sentence, volunteering can make a huge difference in the lives of those in need by providing support and assistance. In this scenario, volunteering becomes a powerful force for good, making a significant impact by offering support and assistance. And small everyday actions, such as reducing waste, can make a huge difference in environmental conservation. Here, the emphasis is on the impact of small everyday actions. Each act of reducing waste contributes to a positive change, making a difference. When we make an effort, we are attempting to achieve a goal. It's the act of trying hard to accomplish or do something. Making an effort might be a considerable effort, indicating a substantial use of energy. Sustained and consistent efforts imply an ongoing dedication over a period of time. For example, success in any endeavor requires individuals to make a consistent effort toward their objectives. In this example, success is linked to individuals constantly making efforts toward their goals. Next here, we have the educator continues to make efforts to grow his YouTube channel and reach more and more learners. So like and share, please. This collocation, to make eye contact, means to establish visual contact with someone by looking directly into their eyes. For example, in many cultures, making direct eye contact is considered a sign of confidence and sincerity during conversations. And job seekers are advised to make eye contact during interviews to convey attentiveness and professionalism. Making eye contact is a valuable skill. It communicates attentiveness and professionalism and leaves a positive impression during interviews. When we make improvements, we are enhancing the quality or functionality of something. These could be considerable improvements, which could be a substantial leap forward. Vast improvements suggest a wide-ranging enhancement, and sometimes the progress can be gradual, highlighting steady progress over time. Finally, improvements can be much needed, addressing necessary enhancements. For example, the company is constantly working to make improvements to its product based on customer feedback. And in this sentence, we have homeowners often invest in renovations to make improvements to their homes. This collocation, to make a living, means to earn a livelihood or enough money to support oneself financially through employment or other means. It might be a comfortable living, suggesting financial stability, or a decent living, suggesting enough money that meets basic needs with some left over. On the other hand, a meager living means that the person is probably earning just barely enough to cover all expenses or not enough. In addition to the verb make, we can also use the verb earn, so make a living or earn a living. An example using this collocation is, many artists struggle at first to make a living from their creative work, meaning in the early years of their careers, they don't make or earn much money. This next sentence says, the gig economy has provided opportunities for people to make a living through freelancing and flexible work arrangements. Gig work includes jobs through ride-sharing or food delivery apps where a worker can work as little or as much as they want in the time that they have free. When we make an offer, we are not just suggesting, we are formally presenting something for acceptance, often within the context of a transaction like a money transaction or agreement. It might be a generous offer, showcasing a willingness to go above and beyond, or a conditional offer, which introduces specific terms or conditions that need to be met. However, an unconditional offer represents a straightforward proposal without any additional requirements. For example, I made an offer to buy a used bike for 20% less than the asking price, and the seller accepted. In this scenario, the buyer made a specific offer, and it was accepted by the seller. And here we have in this sentence, individuals looking to purchase a home often need to make an offer to the seller through their real estate agent. This collocation, to make a payment, is to transfer money or settle a financial obligation. Making payments can vary. It might be a prompt payment, highlighting the importance of settling financial obligations on time to avoid late fees. A late payment is one made after an expected date, and we have the opposites, a full payment or a partial payment. With a full payment, you pay all that's expected, but with a partial payment, you pay only part of or a portion of what's expected. For example, it's essential to make payments on time to avoid late fees and maintain a good credit score. And online shopping allows customers to make payments using secure payment methods. When we make small talk, we are engaging in light, casual conversation, often as a social nicety or to break the ice. Speaking of break the ice, check out this video introducing this and other idioms with the verb break. For example, during the networking event, attendees mingled and made small talk, and the supermarket cashier enjoys making small talk with customers. So here, the cashier finds joy in having friendly conversations with customers. Next up, to make a suggestion is to put forward an idea or recommendation for consideration. It's a constructive process of contributing to discussions, projects, or improvements, and it can take different forms. It might be a valuable suggestion, offering insights that can enhance workflow or a project. On the other hand, a suggestion can also be impractical, meaning that it is not feasible or doable. For example, during the meeting, each team member was encouraged to make suggestions for improving workflow, and customers are welcome to make suggestions for new features or improvements to the product. When we make a sound, we are not just existing in silence. We are actively emitting noise. Maybe in a movie, you've seen people trying to hide, and one character might turn to the other and say, "Shh, don't make a sound." This example says, the wind made an eerie sound as it howled through the trees during the storm. And this one says, a creaking door can make a sound that is unsettling. You'll often hear this type of sound when watching characters in a movie open the doors of a haunted house. In this collocation, when we make time for something, we are not just managing our schedules. We are actively setting aside time for specific activities or specific people to prioritize what matters in our lives. For example, healthy relationships require individuals to make time for each other. So individuals can contribute to the health of their relationships by making time for each other. And here in this sentence, we have, it's important to make time for hobbies and activities that bring joy. Do you make time for any hobbies? Try creating your own example sentences using these collocations in a notebook and sharing them in the comments below this video. The more practice you get using these collocations, the more automatically they will come to you the next time you are speaking or writing in English. See you in the future.